Hey guys, so I want to get on here real quick just to talk to you about a couple things that the Lord convicted my heart of today. It's something that I felt led to get on here because I know that this is something that can help a lot of people. You know, as human beings, right, we have a natural tendency to want to have control of things, to want to have control of the way things go in our life, and even in the way that God moves, right? I'm not the only one who is guilty of that, right? And if I am, so be it. But it's something that when you say yes to God, what He really, like, the bottom line of what He put on my heart was, Ashley, you don't get to just say yes to me and then decide how I'm going to do things and when I'm going to do them. I mean, we don't get to do that. When we say yes to God, it means full and total surrender. That's what it means. It doesn't mean, okay, God, I'll do it, but I need the details, and I need to know your timing, and I need to know how it's going to all come together and when. We don't get to do that, but I know that I'm guilty of it, right? So, I really didn't even realize that I was doing it. If you want me to be 100%, I was doing it without even really knowing I was doing it. And so the Lord really kind of brought me to that conclusion, and it opened my eyes, and then He confirmed it later in the same day, which was today. So when you say yes to God, when God is calling you into something, when you're doing something for the Lord, regardless of what that is, regardless of what it looks like for you, having questions is okay. We're going to have questions, and it's okay to share our entire heart with the Lord. But, faith without works is dead. But also, it is impossible to please God without faith. So we can do a lot of things, but without faith, God is not pleased, right? So when we are in a situation, it's just so natural to want to know the details. That's just me being honest. I'm like, okay, Lord, well, what about this? And if this is going to happen, then how are we going to go about doing this, God? And then how are we going to go about that? And then before you know it, I've asked so many questions that I can't even remember what all I've asked. And I've even found myself worrying about these things while asking them. Like, genuinely being worried, genuinely at times having fear. And fear is a liar. Fear is, y'all, something's in my eye. Fear is a liar. Fear is going to tell you exactly whatever it takes in order to make you want to back out, in order to make you want to basically just be an Indian giver and say, God, I gave you my yes, but I'm going to go ahead and take that yes back. Right? So I just want to encourage you today to, surrender all of your heart to God. Surrender all of your questions to God. Surrender all of your desires to God. Surrender everything, every piece of your heart. Surrender it to the Lord, guys. Because when we make the Lord of our heart, we have to let Him be Lord of all of it. We don't get to say, Lord, you are Lord of my time, you're Lord of my whatever, but you don't get to be Lord of my finances. We don't get to say, Lord, I'm going to surrender all of this to you, and I will give you my yes, but I still get to decide how it's going to go and when, and I need to know exactly every puzzle piece. No, because then it doesn't require faith. And if faith isn't in it, then we can't please God. When we surrender it all to God, He never lets us down. It usually 9 times, I'm going to say 10 times out of 10, it doesn't really ever look like what we expected it to look like when God comes through for us, but He will always come through for us. The Word says that He equips us for His will. So even when our circumstances don't look like they're what they need to be in order to do it, well, if God says to do it, then just get your feet wet. Step in the water, jump in, and just go. And as you go, God cannot lead somebody who will not move, right? Just get to moving. even if you don't have what it takes, whether it be finances, whether it be this or that, just do something. Step out and just do something. And as you do whatever it is that's in your means to do, just to do something, He will lead you as you go. And He will provide as you go. So I'm just encouraging y'all today to, ask the Lord for yourself. God, is there anything that I'm not walking in faith with? Is there anything that's not pleasing you in my heart? Is there anything that I have not surrendered to you? Is there anything, God, that I need to be doing differently? I encourage you today, if you haven't already, to give God your yes on whatever it is. To surrender it all to God, not just a piece of it or a portion of it. God deserves it all. Because, He is the one man in this entire world that we can put all of our trust in. He's the one person who will never hurt us. He's the one person who always stands by His word. He's the one person, guys, who loves you more than anybody. He understands you more than you understand yourself. We can count on God, and we will never regret doing things that God calls us to do. We will never regret doing things God's way. But understand that even in the midst of saying yes and doing what He says to do, that we don't get to control the details of that. Let go of your control if that's what you need to do today. I encourage you to take it to the Lord and see what He has to say. He corrects those that He loves, guys. I would be more worried if God wasn't correcting me, because He corrects those that He loves. So, with that being said, I really just want to encourage you with it. If you have any prayer requests, go ahead and send them my way. Like I said before, my email is posted, but I just pray that this encourages you, because it encouraged me. Conviction is of God, condemnation is not. So when we are convicted, that means we're encouraged to do better. We know that we did wrong, we know that we need to be doing something different, but it's an inspiration to do it. It's an inspiration to do better. Condemnation is what beats you up. So take those thoughts captive. Don't let the enemy condemn you for something, because God's not condemning you. So who else can? If God is for you, who can be against you, guys? So anyways, I just want to encourage you with that today. Go out, be blessed, have a wonderful day, and we will talk soon.